The Upspin. Simple steps to walk away from your depression and anxiety. Letting go. Letting go was probably one of the most difficult things about my journey back from depression. Because there were so many things that, I personally kind of held on to, I guess, because, they were the source of my depression and they were part of me. And I just wanted everybody to understand, and I wouldn't let it go until everybody understood. It ultimately made things a lot worse. And until I learned to let go of those things, I would never really be free. And there were a lot of things that I was hanging on to for dear life. It's a bit of a cognitive dissonance to hang on to some of these things while you know that they're no good for you. I held on to grudges or feelings that I was wronged, that I was jilted, that I had been taken. And some of these things actually did happen. Yes, I was taken for a lot of money, actually. Made me very angry for a very long time. And I'm still a little upset about it, but there's nothing to be done about it anymore. It's something that happened. I acknowledge that it happened, but I don't let it eat away at me anymore. So that's the trick, is how do you let go? How do you let go? So let's take that example that somebody in my life screwed me out of a lot of money. I'm not going to go into too much more detail about it. I'm just going to keep it really basic. They just screwed me out of a lot of money that I spent a lot of my time and a lot of my life and building up to and earning, and it was taken away from me rather unfairly. Initially, it drove me into, nervous breakdown territory. One of my early suicide attempts, I was in the hospital. There was just all kinds of nonsense going on. And for years, I just really felt spite and anger about this. And it just slowly but surely kind of ate me alive. I was still living my life, but, this was always burning in the back of my head and basically tore me up for years, over a decade, probably. Years later, I finally had a breakthrough. I was in therapy, and my doctor just kind of asked me, or my therapist, he wasn't a doctor, but my therapist just basically asked me, what's this doing for you anymore? This person's living in your head rent-free, and what are you getting out of carrying this anger around? Can you do anything about it? First of all, if you can do something about it, why aren't you doing something about it? And if you can't do something about it, why are you holding on to it? And those are very simple questions. I suppose I already knew that on a certain level of my intelligence, I guess, but nobody ever really asked me the question out loud. Bald-faced just ask me the question and make me answer it. And until that moment, until I had to admit that I had been hanging on to this stuff needlessly, I guess I had just refused to tell myself that, and wasn't doing me a lick of good. And from that day on, I started to let go. I couldn't immediately let go just because my brain was trained to go into that direction. I at least started cognitively making the effort to drop it. If I ever started heading in that direction, it'd be like, no, I can't control that anymore. I'm not going to go there. And this kind of builds on some episodes past where I'm talking about neural pathways and teaching your brain different ways of thinking. It took me a while, but I stopped blaming that particular person for a lot of things in my life, or at least actively blaming them for a lot of things in my life that had happened because, they were to blame for a lot of bad things in my life. But those bad things were in the past. I had gotten over them. I'm here, I'm alive, I've survived, I'm breathing, I'm eating, I'm, being a productive person in society. So why drag myself through those old mud puddles anymore, right? So it takes time. You've got to let go. I mean, if you've been hanging on to something for 10 years, it might take 10 years for you to let go of it. But you got to start now, and you've got to tell yourself no more. You're not taking this anymore. It's kind of putting your foot down. Decision is final. That's what making a decision is. You decide it's this or it's this. It is hanging onto it or it is letting go, and you choose to let go, then let go. You don't just loosen your grip a little bit. You got to let go. Open your hand and drop it like it's hot. So chew on that. I'm going to try to pay some bills here, and I'll be right back, and I'll talk to you about something else maybe. I am not a medical doctor. The techniques and procedures described in this podcast are not intended to replace professional medical advice or doctor-prescribed medications. If there's any time that you feel that you're alone and you want to hurt yourself, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. You're not alone. It's a free call. Stop what you're doing and call. So in this second half here, I just want to take a quick moment and thank you all for listening, first of all. I've gotten some really positive feedback on some of the episodes, and I just want you to know that I do this out of just the sheer love of doing it. I want to help people. I know what it's like to be down in the total dumps and to be on the edge of that cliff looking over it. Literally, I know what it's like to be on the edge of that cliff. And if I can draw any of you back from that edge, then it is 100% worth it for me to be doing this. So I'm glad you're listening. I hope I'm helping some of you, or at least maybe entertaining some of you. And I wish all of you the best. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more. I know I've talked about this in other episodes, but let's talk a little bit more about what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing for yourself to make yourself feel happy, to feel good, to help brighten your own day? Because you don't want to have to make it everybody else's job to make you happy. You need to learn to be happy with yourself and by yourself and for yourself. So what are you doing for yourself? What did I do for myself today? I got a credit card paid off. That means a lot to me. Made my day. Oh gosh, I played my instrument a little bit. I've been listening to some fairly fascinating audiobooks. And these things for self-care and to make yourself feel better, they don't have to be huge monumental things. I mean, I shaved this morning in the shower. I shaved my face and I shaved my head. For those of you that don't know, I am bald. So I shaved my head and it felt good. I put lotion on my scalp. Just simple little grooming things can make you feel a little better, a little more confident to go out into the world. Are you doing these things for yourself? Maybe take the stairs instead of the elevator. And get a little exercise. If it's nice out where you're at, take a 15-minute walk, or maybe just a 5-minute walk. Walk around your building, walk around your block where you work out, walk down the street and walk back. Walk to the coffee shop down the street. Just get a little exercise, get out into the sun. Whether you have to wear a mask or not, that's beside the point, but just get out and move. Humans aren't made for just sitting there and not moving. We are meant to move. We need to get back in touch with our inner cave people, and get out and move and experience the world and the outdoors. Now, I'm not saying you have to go out into the woods. It's a good idea to every once in a while, but even just taking a walk, if you're a city dweller, just take a walk through your city. Take a walk around the block. Get out and just move. Feel the earth moving under your feet and the sky tumbling down. Hey, sing a song. Singing a song is also a good thing. Put some headphones on if you can be safe about it. Don't drown everything out because you don't want to get hit by a bus that sneaks up behind you. But maybe have a little bit of a soundtrack going on in the background. Kind of loosen yourself up. Other things you can do to make yourself feel good, if you have the means. I mean, if there's a cool museum or something like that, or if there's some sort of art exhibit, public art exhibit that you can go view and appreciate, go do that. Just, you need to find something that maybe feels a little guilty pleasure, or not necessarily extravagant, but, something a little extra just for you. Treat yourself. Treat yourself well. Talk to yourself well, because in the end, you're all you've got. Look after yourself. Try to be happy. Don't talk down to yourself. Okay? Can you promise me you're not going to talk down to yourself anymore? That'd be great. Because that's one of the worst things you can actually do. Okay, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to call it a day. Depends on when you're listening to this. Thank you for listening. Go to anchor.fm/Wayne Tapia. You will find my homepage for the podcast. There's a button on there that you can support the podcast. You can help me do this a little better by just making small donations. That would really, really help. I'm on Spotify. I'm on Radio Public, Pocket Casts, Google Podcasts, and Breaker. Soon to be on Apple Podcasts. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but that's going to happen soon enough. Listen on one of those platforms. Give me good reviews. They really do help. I would really love your help on this, because I want to continue doing these for you, because I kind of enjoy it. I like talking to you nice folks. I like helping you out. And I also like to show you that it's not impossible. You might be in the depths of depression and anxiety right now. I can tell you I was there, and I can help you walk out of it. Okay? So, with that said, y'all have a great day. This is Wayne.